What it do, baby? Get some video here. You are now tuned in to the network. Bruh. That app is killing me now. Y'all know what it is. Let's go ahead and launch Secure CRT. Same topology as yesterday. One router, one switch. Let's see here. After that, we're gonna do. The reason why it's the same topology. Because we're doing port security today again. It's just they said it's an advanced feature, but I don't see how it's really that advanced. I mean, I guess it's advanced if it's kind of new to you. But let me go ahead and router 1 going. I think he should be powered on already, right? Yep, we go router 1. Switch 1 should also be powered on. Yes, he is. Well, look at that. The NetworkBruh ready today. I'm gonna still give it some time for some people to, y'all know, tune into the stream. Let's go ahead and get. I guess we can take a picture of the topology while I'm explaining it and stuff. Y'all remember what port security is, right? It's a way to secure our ports. Duh, right? But how can we secure our ports? I mean, obviously we can do it with physical security, right? Make sure that our network closets are either have some kind of like door code or lock. I've seen some places, like the place I work at, we have some offices that actually have retinal scanners to walk into some of the rooms, right? Not necessarily our network closets, but some highly secured areas. So obviously physical security is one way to secure our ports, but we could also do it logically by actually setting up port security on the actual ports. And so we can set up a couple ways, right? Where somebody plugs into our switch, or at least like say a wall jack in the lobby or something like that. As soon as they plug up, boom, the port shut down. We demonstrated that yesterday, right? Today, what we're gonna do is an advanced port security feature in which static MAC address entries are manually configured by the administrator. So let's say I issued you a laptop and it has the MAC address ABC123456, right? Obviously it's going to be a little bit more random than that, but let's say I give you that laptop, issued it to you for work, right? Now when I know you're going to plug into that port, I'm making sure that laptop matches, laptop MAC address matches what you're going to put in that port. If it sees anything else, boom, you can either shut down or set it to protect and restrict, which is what we covered in the last stream, right? So, and then you could put, let's say one port has only like 4 entries, right? And I issued 4 laptops, and those are the MAC addresses. Those are the only MAC addresses that will be allowed on this port. That's one way of setting up port security. So it's kind of like, it's almost like a retinal scanner, right? I have the database of the retinal print of 2 people, let's say 4 people, right? Only those 4 people can walk into that office, right? Because I know how their eyeballs look like, right? The same thing is with creating static MAC address entries, except, it's not done automatically, it's done statically. We have to actually manually put in these MAC addresses and allow them to come in. So, and that's what we're going to demonstrate here. So this lab only has 3 tasks. Yeah, so this should be a real quick lab too. We should knock this one out real quick. While I get that going, y'all go ahead and launch up Packet Tracer or GNS3 or whatever you guys are using. We should be able to knock this one out quick. That's why I said we're going to do 2 labs. Matter of fact, I still got the topology from the other day. Look at that. Look at God. Look at God. Let me go ahead and copy that, put that in the paint, so that way I can do my little demonstration. I probably really don't even need to do this, but just in case there's some new people in here. Shout out Endrit in the building. Guess what? I got the solution for the security CRT. Well, how long it took you to do that? No, I'm just kidding, man. But it's been a minute since I seen you, Endrit, man. Shout out to Endrit in the building. He is the guy that kind of helped me set up EvenG. Unfortunately, I'm not using EvenG, right? Just because I love my hardware. Y'all know how I'm old school, and You know, I got my physical equipment that I like seeing the blinking lights and unplugging the cable like we did yesterday when we tried to demonstrate port security. The NetworkBruh unplugged his switch over there. Anyway, this is the topology we're going to be working with, right? Just one router, one switch, 2 girls, 1 cup. No, I'm just kidding. Anybody seen that one? Y'all remember that? We got PS in the building. Shout out PS. Thank you for tuning in, man. So, yeah, again, one router, one switch. These are obviously the VLANs and port we're going to set up. So just like the other day, man. Hopefully, and I don't know why I can't delete the VLAN database for some reason, right? Watch this. Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm going to see what's in there before we get started, right? dir flash, right? See what's in the flash. Right now, this is too big. That's what's going on. But right now, I do have a VLAN database, and I want to delete that, right? Obviously, it was 022. That's when it was in there, right? So I'm going to delete that, right? Delete flash, colon, and then delete that bad boy. I think you got to keep the space in there, or else it won't delete, right? Delete that file. Boom. Now I deleted it for sure, right? Check it again, dir flash, and obviously that bad boy is gone, right? But if I do a show VLAN brief, I still got a VLAN in here. Is that because I got a reboot? I'm assuming that's because I got a reboot, just to get a refresher for anybody in here. We got Dave W in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in, man. Shout out to Dave W. You are consistent, man. Sitting in the front of the class over there, man. I'm just playing, but yeah, appreciate you for tuning in though. But I think I got a reboot. That's the reason why it's still in there. So, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Task 1 was to configure the host names, which y'all know how to do already, right? If you don't, then here's how you do it. You go to global config mode and just say host name R1, right? Now he's set up to be R1. Same thing with switch 1, but I'm not gonna do that because I know y'all know how to do it. You guys are smarter than that. Create VLAN 10 on switch 1, right? This guy right here, VLAN 10. Well, guess what? I already have it from the last stream, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep it on there. The only thing that did not save though is interface FA02. We need to put that bad boy in VLAN 10, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm sure y'all know how to do that, and if you don't, follow along, right? Global config mode, interface FA. My interface is different. Yours might be as well. Mine is 102 because I actually have a stack of 4 switches there. Yes, physical switches, 3750s, V2s, switch port mode. Access VLAN, no, I'm sorry, switch port mode access. We're going to statically set it to be an access port. And I'm also going to put it in VLAN 10 and do switch port access VLAN 10. That obviously puts them in there. How we verify our work, show VLAN brief. Anybody know another command to check that? So now 102 is in VLAN 10. We got Professor Black Ops in the building. Shout out Professor Black Ops. Anybody figured out why that VLAN database did not delete that VLAN? I think that's the reason why though. It's got to be because I didn't reboot. If I reboot, that thing would have been gone. So next time I'll make sure I delete it before we wipe these bad boys clean. It's just that the VLAN database, remember, is separate from the NVRAM. So VLANs get saved onto a separate file called the VLAN.dat file. That's why you could just do erase startup config, right? And then reboot it. That's why these VLANs stay in there, because that's a separate file. So, what was I going to put? So that was task 1, right? Yes. So another way we can verify that VLAN database, not VLAN database, but that port assignment is show interface FA, that's T1/0/2. And then actually got to put the switch port keyword in there, because this right here, you just do it by itself, right? Does not show you what VLAN it's in, right? Nowhere in here does it say 10. We got a 10 in here, but that's not it, right? So we add the keyword switch port, and that lets us know he's in VLAN 10, which was the sales VLAN, right? What else we got to do here? Task number 2. So same thing as yesterday, right? That's what I like about this book. In case you're just following along, this is the book we use. 101 Labs, 101 Labs, Cisco CCNA version 4. You need to copy this from 101labs.net, or there's a link in the description box below. It is an affiliate link, so it does, when you click it, it'll take you off this web, off of YouTube, take you to Amazon, and I'm just giving you that little disclaimer because remember, YouTube, shut me down because they thought I was trying to take people off of YouTube, and it was like, no, that's not what it is. I'm just promoting somebody else's book, so leave me the hell alone. But anyways, what I love about this book is they drill this stuff over in our heads. if you watch this video from yesterday, you'll be like, man, this is the same thing we did yesterday. But you know what? He kept the same topology, had us put these IP addresses again, put that VLAN again over again, and then just kind of tweak the port security thing and added something else. He could have put more tasks to the same lab, but for some newbies, that might kind of like overwhelm you. Like, oh man, 15 tasks? So he separates it, and that's what I love about this book, man. So we verified that. Task 2, we only got 3 tasks, right? Configure the IP addresses. So we got to do these bad boys right here, this guy right here, and that guy right there. So the SVI and the physical interface, right? Go to router 1. Interface FA10, no, he's actually 00. IP address is 172.16.0.1/27, which is 255.255.255 dot /27 is. I had to think about that. 224, right? 224. No shut that bad boy. Right? That should theoretically give us syslog message as soon as he come up. But you know why it didn't happen? And this is why I like blinking lights too. I seen it right then and there. I don't have a cable connected to it. Now, yes, I know some of you guys in here, you virtualization fanboys, are just like, well, you ain't got to worry about that if you have, you know, EVNG or something like that. Don't worry about a cable not plugged up, right? But there's just some things, like especially for the newbies, when you're looking, you could just look at something and be like, okay, this is not working because, you know, a light is not working, or because, you know, a light is amber, you know, automatically, oh, span the tree is blocking that. That's the reason why it's not coming up, right? But there's those little things, the physical aspect of it that will help, which is why I like physical hardware. But yes, I'm not new and everything like that. But when you're starting out, I really suggest doing that. Having physical hardware is just that the portability and the convenience of having those other applications are great. And heck, packet tracer is free, so that's another thing that you got to take into consideration. But if you're just starting out and you can get your hands on hardware, please do so. So go ahead and plug that bad boy up. It was actually the wrong cable. To FA00. We got some link light activity. It is amber. It is up. However, if we do a show IP interface brief, it is up, but let's see what happens when we try to ping it, right? So we're gonna, because I think that's the next step, right? So we got to try to ping that SVI right there, right? See if I can do that, right? Ping 172.16.0.2. You know what? I didn't even create that SVI yet, so I can't demonstrate this. What I was trying to do was show y'all what happens when spanning tree blocks it, but too late for that, right? Anyway, let's go to global config mode and set up that SVI, right? So interface VLAN 10, VLAN 10. What we got going on today? We got Android. So they boot up and then power off, because I got this problem, but I fixed it. So hold up. Let me see. We got Joey in the house. My bad, Joey. I ain't see you in there, man. I wasn't looking at the chat right there. But some images, but the devices / nodes would never boot up. Oh, yes, true. When you're using, you're talking about, hold on. Eve was giving me some trouble the other day. Okay. So loaded some images, but the devices and those would never boot up. So they boot up and then power off. I got this problem, but I fixed it. Okay, yeah, please let us know. And I'm not going to be like, oh, see, this is why I don't use EVNG or whatever. But I want to know what kind of issues were you running into. And that's the other thing. You're just going to run into bugs with these applications. Not that you won't run into bugs with hardware, but you're less than likely to run into bugs. If you do run into bugs, it's an iOS bug. And then you can Google it. And that's some experience that you can get from there, right? Obviously, you go to Cisco's website or any other vendor's website, you'll see they have a database of known bugs through each software release. So that's one thing to take into consideration as well. Let's configure VLAN 10, interface VLAN 10 rather. So give them the IP address of 172.16.0.2/27 subnet. which is .224, right? Am I correct in saying that? Yes, because 228 would have been 240. So now, show IP interface brief, exclude the unassigned, verify our work. It's 1602. Now let's see if router 1 can actually ping that SVI. So go to router 1. Most likely he can, and I've already got it saved right there. Let's check our routing table though, right? I'm most likely it is because it's directly connected. But we don't do it just in case there's some newbies in here, right? So he knows about the 16.0 network, which is that right there, right? So theoretically he should be able to ping it, right? Type in ping 172.16.0.2. Get on our knees, pray to the network gods, press enter, and it's hanging in there. Look like we got an issue. What kind of issue do we have here? Nothing is blocking it, right? So let's go to router 2 and see what's going on. I mean, switch 1 and see what's going on here. Right there, up, down. That is a problem, right? So let's see. Let's check it again. It is still up, down. So anybody know why that interface is up, down? What commands could we do to verify why it is up, down? Let's show Vlan brief. Let's see if it's created, right? 1602 start 27, right? So show Vlan brief. He said they never boot up after I click start. I have some Dynamax image that will work, but my ASAV do not. That sucks. I have a physical ASAV and I'm using it as a as a thing, not really, just to give it more space for my laptop and my keyboard over here. Yes, I have an external keyboard because it ain't really working. But what was I going to do? Oh, we needed to verify why that interface is not working. You know what? I think I see why. This is a cabling issue as well. This is a cabling issue. See? Automatically. So right now, let me show y'all why. There's no way y'all wouldn't have seen this. Actually, you would have seen this. I would have had to ask you guys for some show commands to verify what's wrong here, right? So if I do show show interface status, this would have gave us the reason why. I have FA101 connected. Well, guess what? I have that port in VLAN 10. So, and I actually cabled it wrong. I actually have the cable plugged into 101. So that's the reason why. So I'm gonna go ahead and unplug this bad boy, plug it up to 102. Right? Simple mistake, right? But just through experience, I'm realizing, and plus I got the equipment in front of me. Y'all would have had to, ask me to run some show commands and to be able to see why that wouldn't have working. But we'll do another pop quiz. Let's see if he can ping it now, right? Ping. Actually, I'm not gonna do that because now the spanning tree definitely would have blocked it. But let's just wait. I'll just wait. Right now it's amber, so now it's green. Get on our knees and pray to the network guys. Press enter. Let's see if that is the issue. We got 2 ARP replies. And we got a success. 60%. Good to go. But that's not what we want to see. We want to see 5 exclamation points, right? Ping it again. We got 5. Good to go. All right. So our prayers have been answered. Next thing was the last task was configuring port security. What we came to do, right? Configure port security on FA05. So he said FA05 this time, right? Interesting. FA05 is not on here. But I'll just do it for just so it's demonstrated, right? So FA05 is going to be right here, right? So that's going to be 05. That port. Let's do this. Y'all know I like to do my little annotations, right? That guy right there. And that's that port. Right? And he's actually port 05. What do they want us to do here? This is the final task before we move on to the next lab. He says configure port security on FA05 on switch 1 for the following static MAC addresses. I'm not going to read them all to you, but there's four MAC addresses. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste them on there. And he said the switch should restrict access to these ports for MAC addresses that are not known. Verify your configuration with port security. And that's it. After all, that's all he does, right? For port security. And after that, I think, do y'all want me to plug up like another laptop that does not have one of these MAC addresses just to, demonstrate port security and see what it looks like for any newbies in here or whatever? Let me know if you want to do that. If not, then we'll just move on to the next task. So, not next task, but the next Yes, Aaron, that's correct. Show interface status would have showed me that. Exactly, and that's what I ended up doing. But I guess I could say I'm experienced, but I was able to see, just look over and be like, why is this not pinging? Oh, it's plugged up to the wrong port. So just little things like that will help newbies and realize, oh, you know, it's better to learn it physically and then be able out in the virtual world and see, to do some troubleshooting. So Pete S is over here troubleshooting his Even G while we working with hardware over here. But either way, Pete, not to knock you though, because I did have some issues with my hardware yesterday, but only because I have the power cord just like halfway stuck through and wondering why port security was not working. So you run into those issues with hardware as well. Yes, please test the port security. Okay, Dave, I'll do that for sure. So what they want us to do, add those MAC addresses, right? I'm gonna go here for FA05. So first thing we got to do is go to that interface right there, that guy right there, right? We got to go to this interface, not this guy, this guy. Boop, 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 and configure those MAC addresses, right? Let's go to router. Switch one. Go to global config mode. He made us do all of that, and then we didn't even have to do anything with the router. It is what it is. Just in case somebody haven't seen that before, or how to configure an IP address, things like that. Just simple things, right? Interface FA105, right? Your interfaces might be different. And then they said they want us to set up port security. We know we got to enable it with the keyword switch port and port security, right? That enables port security. Oh, but look at this. This is a good one. I like this. So command rejected. It is a dynamic port. So that means it'll change on the fly, right? Because dynamic means kind of like it changes, right? Changing meaning it's like it'll negotiate with another, maybe another switch, or if it needs to be a trunk port, it'll turn into a trunk port if need be. It'll change to an access port if need be. But we want it statically set as an access port because we're going to be setting up port security on here. I don't think you can set up port security on a trunk port. So that's the reason why we're getting this command rejected, right? Correct me if I'm wrong though. Let's copy and paste that and we'll see. At least I will see. Unless we got somebody in here that can tell me why, or give me a better like definition or reason why we're getting that command rejected command, right? Let's see what it says. But I think that's the reason why. Yep, that's exactly why. So I'm looking at the Cisco learning community, right? Make sure y'all join that because there's a lot of stuff that you can learn from there. I had that issue too. I was trying to configure an interface to use port security. Duh. Command rejected. And then solution, switch port mode access. So we need to hard code this as an access port, right? So, and that's exactly what I was thinking, but I wanted a better way to explain it. Y'all know, just break it down in layman's terms or the way I speak, right? So switch port, not port security, but mode access. So now he's hard coded as an access port, right? How can we verify that, right? Show interface FA105/0/5 and then keyword switch port, and then we'll see this lets us know it is hard coded as an access port, static access, right? So static as opposed to dynamic, right? Still, it's just always this way, and it's always going to be an access port, right? So now, what was it gonna do? So now we could do the port security, right? So switch port security, and now it didn't get rejected, right? So now we've enabled port security, but now we want to specifically say what type of port security, right? We can set maximums, we can do sticky, we can do protect, restrict, etc., right? On what to do when a port security violation occurs. Right now, we wanted to set specific MAC addresses, right? And I think you got to do switch port security, port security, and then question mark for the context sensitive help, and we'll see what options we got. We can do aging, MAC addresses, maximum, violation. Obviously, we want to do MAC address, a specific MAC address. So we do MAC address, question mark, and you'll see there you can put either sticky, like we did yesterday, where it dynamically learns a sticky, a MAC address. So somebody plugs into the port and be like, oh, okay, I'm going to remember that in my NVRAM. And that's what sticky is, right? This Triple H right here not the wrestler, but the actual MAC address. This is, we're going to type in the actual MAC address, and we're manually putting in to say, this is the MAC address you want to keep in your NVRAM. That's what we're doing here, right? So now, I can copy and paste that bad boy, right? Dynamic is default. That's correct, Pete. Exactly. So it is, ports are set up dynamically. We need, if you want it to be an access port, you need to statically configure it, which is what we did right there. Let me see what, let me get caught up here. So Aaron got it correct. Show interface is static. We got Firon, Tehran. Appreciate you for tuning in, man. So yes, we needed to set up the MAC address. I need to manually type that in, right? So here goes that MAC address. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Right? So that's specific MAC address. So that's kind of like if we work, we said, like, let's say we have an organization and we have specific laptops or like specific PCs, and we know their MAC addresses, and we issue them to our, you know, our users, and we want just those MAC addresses to be allowed on this port. This is how we do it. We set it up manually. Now, yes, it's going to be a lot of administration and it's a lot of manual labor, but you know, this is one way to increase your security on specific ports, right? Specific MAC addresses to specific ports. But there's other solutions like ICE and yeah, other like what do you call them? MDM solutions, mobile data management. I think that is. I can't remember. But anyways, so we got to put that MAC address. We got to do another one, right? He gave us 4 to put in, right? He gave us 4 random ones, and then after that, I'm gonna plug up a laptop, and y'all see a violation, right? So that's the second one, right? Oh, what happened here? Y'all see what happened here? This is pretty. I ain't gonna quiz y'all on this because this is pretty self-explanatory. Sometimes iOS can be, you know, it can give you a clear definition like this. It says here, total secure MAC addresses on this interface has reached its maximum limit. So it's not going to learn any more than just one. By default, it's 1. So I try to add a second one. It says, hey, it reached its limit. So by default, it's 1. We need to change the maximum on this, the maximum limit, right, for it to learn more. So we do that with switch port security. Matter of fact, we can scroll up and see maximum, right? We're going to be adding 4, so we'll go ahead and change the maximum address to 4, right? So maximum, and then 4, boom. So now we're gonna, that's our limit, 4. This is one way to also mitigate MAC address spoofing, right? So let's say we got some hacker that come into our network, walk into our building, right, and then just try to set up or try to conduct a MAC address flooding attack, right? Basically, he floods the switch with a whole bunch of MAC addresses, right? And switches, they dynamically learn MAC addresses, right? But if there's so many of them, it'll just flood the switch and render it useless, and then it'll just kind of either freeze up or, you know, some random things can happen, unknown things can happen. I've never seen it happen before, but that's one way to kind of like, it's a denial of service attack, right? So we're setting the maximum to 4, so it's not going to learn any more than 4. We already put in, well, we only put in 1, so now we got to put in the second one, which was this one right here. Boom, now it took it. You see that? So now we got to put in the third one, which is these 2 right here. Boom, copy, paste, and then we'll see if it'll add the 4th one. Boom, boom. And then he left a little note right below that. He said the switch should restrict access to these ports for MAC addresses that are not known, which is what I'm gonna demonstrate with my daughter's laptop. Verify your configuration with port security commands on Cisco iOS. Notice what he says here. Verify with port security commands. He didn't say show run. He didn't say show start. He said port security commands. So that's just like what I've been telling y'all. Try to learn the other show commands other than show run, because show run going to show you all the answers, right? So you want to get familiar with the other show commands. So we put in this MAC address, and was that last one? Yes, it was. All right, so now we got 4. Show, we know all port security commands, which we learned from yesterday, right, are all show port security. Let's see what we got so far. Right there. Maximum secure address count, 4. How many we currently learned? 4. The security violation, none so far until I grab my daughter's laptop. And then the security violation is shut down. So if a violation occurs, shut down. Remember, we could change that to protect and restrict, which, by the way, I finally memorized it. Protect, just, it gets the violation, it stops the traffic from passing through, but it does not give you, it does not increment this counter right here. It does not increment the counter. It just stops the traffic, the violator, from permitting or allowing traffic to go through. Restrict, and I remembered it by alphabetical order, right? Because P comes before R, so protect, and then restrict actually stops the traffic, but it also no, actually protect doesn't stop traffic. I don't think protect stops traffic, but restrict definitely stops the traffic and increments the counter. Correct me if I'm wrong though. Shutdown, we know definitely the shutdown mode stops the traffic and stops the traffic with shutdown and also increments the counter. But protect and restrict, I think one of them actually still allows traffic. So I guess I didn't really fully memorize it. I'm gonna stop fronting for y'all, right? Unless anybody want to clear it up right there. No, bruh. Limited that port to 4 MAC addresses. So let me see. So switches are only limited to 4? No, Dave. Yes, exactly. Pete answered the question. Thank you, Pete, man. This is why you were moderated, bro. So anyways, yeah, you could set the switch to, put a maximum of 256 if you wanted to. Or maybe, let's see what the not the violation, but let's see what the, I think it depends on your platform. So it really depends. But I think you can set up to like 4096. Let's see. Let's just verify though. Let's verify. MAC address, and then maximum actually. So maximum. No, it's MAC address and then maximum. So MAC address. Sorry for that in your ear, guys. Jesus. So switch port security. Oh, because you got to go me an interface. What the hell's wrong with me? Interface FAST 105, and then switch port security. I'm gonna disable that so y'all can't hear that. MAC hyphen address maximum. No, you gotta do maximum right there. Jesus, that's the maximum. 3072 is the maximum I can put, but I think that's just for this specific platform. This 3750 version 2 can support that many. Maybe you have a switch that's got, beefier memory. You might be able to put more MAC addresses, but this specific platform can put 3072 on this specific port. So, can you put multiple addresses in one command? Oh, you know what? I could have tried that. I'll try that just to try, but I don't think so. Let's see. Just to answer Pete's question, MAC address, and then let's say aaa.bbb.ccc, right? And then you can do the VLAN is set to access, and then that's it. No, I don't think you can put more than that, because if I try to do that again, let's say it was aaa1.bbb.cccc, right? Press enter. It's not going to know what the hell you're talking about. So no, you can't do more than one on one line. So that's just to answer your question, Pete. So we've done that. Where was I at? I'm just going in the rabbit hole, ain't I? Where was I at? So we checked out the port security command. Another way we can check to get more detailed information on port security is switch port. Jesus. Show port security. And then is it the interface? Yeah, interface. Yes. FA/105. Right? And then right here, we can see total MAC addresses, maximum 4. We don't have a violation yet. I don't think, the violation counter would go up if we have a violation that occurs, obviously. The last source address is the last one that he learned. The last one that he learned on this port. And then the VLAN he learned it from. What else could we get from here? I think that's pretty much it. I think you add detail keyword to get more. Can you? Nope. That's it. That's all you can do with that. But you can do address. And then the address. Oh, that's a new one. See that? See that? So you add the address keyword, and then you can see the other addresses. See? And I was going to say, what is the command? I was going to ask you guys that. This is where I'm going back to the fundamentals. See, I didn't really see this right here. Or know this. I wanted to see where can I verify, other than show run, those MAC addresses that we added, which is those 4 guys right there, right? Because obviously we can do show run, right, and then interface FA105 and get them this way, right? And get them this way. But I didn't know another show command to get this. So now I know, and no one's half the battle. But that ain't like his default. Anybody got any questions or anything like that? Am I losing anybody, or am I confusing anybody? Remember, there's no such thing as a dumb question on this channel. I answer the simplest things. I don't care what it is. And if I can't get to it because I'm not paying attention to the chat, somebody else will get into it. I got some excellent moderators. There's a lot of smart people that pop in here from other channels and stuff. So I think we've done the maximum. I think what I'm going to do is grab my daughter's laptop over here and get a violation to occur. So I'm going to make sure that the switch is on this time. Power on this laptop. This little mini Dell laptop that I got right here. And obviously he does not have one of these MAC addresses that Pete put in his book, which, by the way, if you're just tuning in for the first time, this is the book where we get this lab from. 101 Labs Cisco CCNA version 4. You get a copy from 101labs.net, or there's a link in the description box below. It is an affiliate link, so I do get some commission if you get it. And it's also takes you to Amazon, so you can get it. So, like, it's a little faster to get it from Amazon Prime, obviously. While this bad boy powers up, I'm going to plug up this laptop into interface port 105, right? Boop. So we're going to take same thing what we did yesterday before I tripped over the damn cord. This laptop, and we'll put my daughter. We'll put a heart for my daughter instead of the hacker's skull and crossbones, right? And plug it up to that bad boy right there, right? Boop, 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 boop. All right, so we're gonna plug it up to that interface right there. Anybody got any questions? Anything? Any other questions on? We got Zakiel in the building. Shout out to Zakiel showing up, man. Appreciate you for tuning in, man. I think I remember you. You were on I answered one of your questions on Josh's channel. I do remember you for sure. Y'all remember? I'll be remembering my subscribers and people that be showing up and stuff like that. I appreciate your support and everything like that, man. So, let's go ahead and plug this bad boy up to 105. Pray to the network gods and hope we block this my daughter trying to plug into the network closet over here. Take a look at the syslog messages. She's plugged up into 105 and she's like, oh look, I needed the internet. I'm glad I can get the internet on this new company. I hope they don't have port security. Oh, we got the port disabled. I'm sorry, baby girl, but y'all know what disabled is, right? So we got the PM. I don't know what the hell that stands for, but the 4 lets us know it's a level 4 syslog message, right? Syslog could be either from 0 through 7. 0 meaning it's catastrophic. 7 meaning it's informational or debugging. And 4 is right in the middle. Disable lets us know that it disabled the port, so it kind of shut it down. And we got P secure, so a violation occurred on this interface right here. Right, so violation occurred and we did what it intended, right? So let's take a look at the port security commands and see right here. This lets us know that the port got disabled. Why? Because a port security violation occurred. Then we get another syslog message letting us know level 2, a port security violation occurred. I know sometimes, like I said, sometimes iOS can explain exactly what the hell's going on, and sometimes iOS can be cryptic, but in this case, it tells us exactly what the hell's going on. Security violation occurred, caused by MAC address. Is that one of these MAC addresses that we said it was going to be? Let's see. I'm going to paste it right here so y'all can see, right? Boom. Where's he at? Boom. Right? That's the MAC address. Y'all pay attention to that right there, right? We go into our show. Let's do this. We're going to run show commands because we know our show commands, right? Show, port security, interface, FA 105. We're like, who the hell is this, man? We said that's the last source VLAN. We was like, oh, no, that's the same one that violated. Is that one of the ones that we said that can be allowed on this port? It was learned on port 1. Let's see here. We obviously got disabled because we set it to shut down by default, right? Let's go ahead and add the key detail keyword and see what the hell is going on here. Why is that not working this time? Isn't that what I did last time to get that information? Oh, it's address and then detail. No. Yes. Address, detail? No. How did I do that last time? I'm gonna need to remember that though. Show port security interface. That's what I did. Why is it not working? Show port security interface 105 and in detail. Maybe you got to type it all out. No. Maybe. That's interesting. Why is that not keyword? That keyword not working? Maybe that's something else I learned here. Y'all see that? This right here gave us the list of addresses allowed on this port. And then I thought I added detail to get that. Didn't I do that last time? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. My little pony blocked. Yeah, man, I blocked my little daughter, man, trying to come into the network and try to plug up her laptop, so she can play her little Barbie games. Come on, girl. What's wrong with you? Let's do this. Address? That's not what it was. We added the detail keyword. We were seeing which ones are allowed. Look, now it didn't take it this time either. Show port security, interface, FA105. Oh, you know why? Because the port is shut down. That is the reason why. We would have to bounce the port to be able to see that violation, I think. So, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's something else I learned. See? Because I added the keyword detail last time, and we was able to see what addresses are allowed on this port. Right here, remember? Y'all remember that? Right? Not there. Here. But it's shut down. That's the reason why. We'll verify that with what? Show, interface, FA105, right? And y'all see right there, it's disabled. Talking about my little pony. Yeah, she got blocked, but yeah, see, it's disabled. That lets us know that. But I wanted to see another way to verify the MAC addresses allowed on this port, other than show run, but which, like we said, we do show interface, or show run interface, and then FA105. And then we'll see the ports that are allowed, and be like, that's not that. That's not one of those interfaces. One of those MAC addresses. Who the hell is that? FE5C. Oh, that's my daughter. What the hell? So, anyways, that's it for that lab, man. Y'all like what y'all see, man? Make sure you comment down below. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to your boy. This is the lab guide we use again. 101 Labs Cisco CCNA version 4. You can copy this from 101labs.net. It is authored by Paul Browning with Faraj Jaffa. Experts agree that we retain only 10% of what we read. 10% of what we read, right? So in one ear and out the other. But 90% of what we do. So which means if you was doing this hands-on along with us, you'll be able to see where the port security violation occurs, what happens. And also, some show commands to kind of like get more information on that. Let's move on to the next lab, man, which is dynamic, what was it? Disabling auto negotiation of trunking. So I'll give y'all a couple more minutes to launch up even G, PS, or GNS3, or PNet Labs, or whatever interface you're using. Colby said, show port security interface 02 and then address. I thought I did that, bro, but let me see. You said 102 though, so I'm gonna check 102, but right now I'm gonna do 105 real quick. And you said address, which I did. Press enter, and then the address. No, nope. I think that's not working. But let's do this. Watch this. I'm gonna do the same thing with detail, but I'm gonna put 102, right? So to put 102. Nope, 103. Interesting. That's not the reason why. That's not the reason why. Ha 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 ha. That's very interesting. I don't know why. You said just address. I did that too, bro. What do we just do? Port security. Show port security. We got total addresses on the port. Oh, maybe you got to remove the interface. Show port security. No, that's not it either. Oh, and then just address detail. No. Oh, show port security address. That's what it was, man. That's what it was. So, port security address. That tells us the address is allowed on the port. Now I know. And no one's half the battle. So, didn't I do that last time? How did I do that last time? I think, let's see. I'm going to verify that. What did I do last time? How come it didn't show up? Or why it did show up? Show port security. So, it was just show port security address. And then it shows you the ones that are allowed. So, that's how you got to do it. So, now I know. Show port security address. And then that tells you. So, this is why I love going back to the fundamentals, y'all. So, for this lab, next lab, we need only 2 switches. And configure them, or cable them up, back to back. While you guys launch up your GNS3 or even G or whatever, I'm going to go ahead and power up my second switch. And also, another thing to point out is the light is amber. So sometimes I've seen that too, where I walk into a network closet and I see a light is amber. I'm like, what the hell? Remote into it or plug up to it and I see that port is disabled. Either somehow a violation occurred, or in my instance, hopefully my boss is not watching, I actually had a switch plugged up to the other switch, so a spanning tree could have occurred, but luckily it got blocked by port security and it disabled the port. So that's the reason why that happened that time. So, when you see an amber port, that's one reason why it got blocked, or a port could be disabled. So I guess I could turn off my daughter's laptop and power up the second switch, so you're going to hear a little bit more fans in here. And I'm not talking about people that really watch this channel. I'll give you a second. Go ahead and launch up GNS3, EVNG, PNet Lab, whatever these kids are using nowadays. Switch 2 is powering up. I had them powered up before the stream, but it just gets kind of noisy in here. So that's the other downside to using hardware as opposed to, other equipment or other applications. Timmy got his book, and it's coming in the mail. That's what's up, Timmy. Shout out to you, man. Like I said, we going to be wrapping up this book, man, because we are on, let's see, we just finished up lab number 101. Like I said, it's almost like false advertisement. He says 101 labs. It's really about 120. Because right now, we're going to do lab 102, and it's disabling auto-negotiation of trunking. So that's another way to kind of like, it's a form of port security. But remember, trunking, trunk ports, you can't set up, I don't think you can set up port security. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the chat room. But, yeah, you can't set up port security on a trunk port. So disabling auto-negotiation is a way to kind of like secure your trunks, if that makes any sense. Let me go ahead and bring up the topology. Remember, you only need 2 switches for this one. Cable them up back to back. With my snipping tool. Copy. Not copy. We're going to set up a new one. Does anybody have any contact information for Paul Browning? Because I'd really like to get a hold of him. And not just to let him know that I'm a fan of his books and stuff, and how much I love his book, but, I wanted to see, once I get like a certain amount of subscribers, and when I start doing more giveaways again, I haven't done a giveaway in a long ass time on this channel, but I'd like to give away a copy of this book, man, for just some people that's maybe not as fortunate, and, and just kind of help promote his book and stuff, man. Y'all would think I should just write my own book. Like my man Cisco, the guy, he wrote his book, in case y'all don't know. He got his own channel and stuff like that, and he wrote a book a while back. But it was for the old exam. A lot of this stuff is still kind of, relevant today. But, maybe I could write my own book and my own training channel. I actually spoke with David Bomber. I don't know if y'all know who he is. He was telling me, I should start my own like course and stuff like that, because he liked my. I thought I was pretty surprised. He was like, you have really detailed teaching skills and stuff like that. And I thought he was just saying that, but maybe he was. I don't know. Maybe he was just gassing my head up. But, he was telling me that I should at least start a course. And he was, telling me, give me some pointers and stuff like that. So, again, we only need 2 switches for this. Label them up, cable them up, back to back, just like this. We're going to set up a trunk between these 2. And if in case you don't know how to set up a trunk, I had to do that today at work. I will show you how to configure a trunk. So, boop, boop. Y'all can hear me, right? Let's see. I got the server room vibes. Great for stream. Seriously, man. It sounds like a network closet in here, man. Got the fans going on and stuff like that. Let me go and unplug this. This port is still disabled. Let me show y'all real quick. So, let's see. Switch 1. He's still up, right? So let's take a look at that port, right? So interface. FA, I'm just looking at it. It's still, even though I unplugged the laptop, unplugged the cable, I still see an amber port there. That's cool to see too. That's why I love hardware. So 105 switch port. Do we get any port security information in here? I don't think so, right? Nope. No port security information other than port security, right? We can see, we did the show interface. We left out the switch port, and we was able to see that it's still disabled, right? But how do we bring it back up? Anybody know? Any newbies in here that don't know but want to tell me? David Bombo is well respected. That's a great compliment. Man, listen, man. I used to he was one of the guys that I really watched this channel a lot, and then And I told him it was something I was working on with him for his course and stuff like that. And then he hit me back and gave me some information. It was going back and forth, you know, with emails and stuff like that. And for him to tell me that, I was like, damn, maybe I am on to something here, man. And he was giving me some pointers on what to do, on how to get my course started. Because y'all know he has a course too on Udemy and stuff like that. But for him to tell me that, I was just like, that's pretty dope. But I don't know. I don't know if he was just gassing my head up. Because it's not like he pop up on my channel all the time and be like, yo, man, or pop up in this stream and stuff like that. But, you know, he's got a lot more. He got a lot on his plate. But if he really meant it, that was pretty dope. So in the Todd Lamley CCNA book, he says one of his techs plugged in a device on a switch and port security shut down the port. Yes. It was to watch the Super Bowl and shut. You know what? I think I remember that video. Oh, no, you said in the book. Yes, in the book. I think I do remember that. I remember reading that. I'm not talking shit. I think I do remember reading that somebody did that to watch the Super Bowl. And yeah, Todd Lamley's a funny guy. If you ever watch him, he does videos too, though, right? Yeah, I think he wears a top hat. I think he wears not a top hat, but like a kind of like a cowboy hat. Let me see. Let me just make sure if I'm talking about the same guy. Todd Lamley. I know he writes books. No, I'm thinking of the guy that does the A+ books. So never mind. But I do remember Todd Lamley writing that in his book, though. Funny you said that. So switch 2 is still powering up. I guess we could start with switch 1 while switch 2 decides to wake up. Because right now, he's a bit sleepy. Right? He'd be sleepy. So let's go ahead and switch 1, right? Let me get a cable. Let me at least get his terminal going. He's still booting up. Oh, he is booting up. He is booted up. We can forget about the router for now. Are you guys ready? Y'all let me know if y'all ready. Task 1. Configure the host name. If anybody don't know how to do a host name, I will show you anyway. Don't worry. Y'all know I like doing fundamentals. I don't care if we do it a million times. If you ask me the same question a bunch of times, yeah, they denied doing anything to the switch. That's crazy. He was like, oh, okay. All right. I got you. And then he remembered the MAC address and then compared it and finally was able to get it. In preparation for the configuration, well, actually, let's read the objective. It's to understand and turn off the auto-negotiation of a trunk link. Switch interfaces, well, let me go ahead and read it to y'all, and then I'll break it down for y'all on my terms. Switch interfaces are set to automatically attempt to create a trunk link when connected to another switch. You need to know how to disable this behavior. Noted that this behavior varies depending on the switch model. So basically, y'all know about a trunk, right? A trunk. Come on, did I save that? Oh, that's why I have it. So a trunk, this guy right here, allows all the VLANs to pass through, right? That's what a trunk does, right? So we can have VLAN 10, VLAN 10, VLAN 5, VLAN 6, and they all pass through, right? Through that trunk, right? But the thing is, these ports are set up to. Remember, we can have either an access port or a trunk port, right? But let's say this one is set to trunk port, right? And that's set to dynamic, right? As soon as we plug him up to that port right there, he's like, oh, dynamic? Okay, I guess I'll form a trunk. I'll become a trunk as well, right? He becomes a trunk. That's great for convenience and stuff like that. But what if somebody walks in, somebody walks into our network closet, or somehow my daughter, was able to get a hold of a switch from my laptops or from my rack here, and she walks into a network closet and plugs up the switch to the other switch and forms a trunk, right? That's obviously, that's obviously a security violation. We don't want trunks to automatically be created. So what we got to do is we disable auto negotiation of trunking. That's the point of doing this, right? So, and that's what they're saying. Task 1 is configure the host name. Let's do that. Y'all know how to do that already, right? Does anybody want me to do that? Anybody want me to do that? Just in case there's somebody here that's too embarrassed to ask, or doesn't want to ask, this is how you do it, right? So switch name, host name rather. You go to global config mode. You type in host name, and then type in the name of the host, and that changes the name of the host, because by default it's gonna say switch, right? Y'all know I don't care. There's nobody below us, right? I'm bringing everybody along with me. I don't care how new you are to this stuff, right? Task 2, we got to do the same thing on switch 2, but y'all seen it, right? Task 2, configure switch 1. So this guy right here, so that auto negotiation of trunking is disabled. Set the port to manually trunk. So let's see, what is it set to for now, right? Well, we know switch 1 is, let's see what, well, I didn't reboot. I should have rebooted. Let's see what he's set to right now, right? So interface FAST 1/01, right? Because you remember your interface might be different, but mine is 101, right? Yeah, they did not anything to switch. So and then we add a switch port command, right? So we can see information on the trunking and stuff like that. What does he say about this trunking? He is set to the mode trunking. Trunking is on. It's set to negotiate. So he'll negotiate depending on which. Let's say this one is set to trunk, right? He's gonna say, hey, we're gonna become a trunk. He's gonna negotiate. He's gonna be like, oh, okay, I guess we're a trunk. That's what negotiation is, right? But we're gonna say, no, god damn it, I am a trunk port. So we're gonna statically set that. We've done that in the last slide, right? Let's go ahead and do that, right? Go to global config mode. We say interface FA101, and then we're gonna say switch port mode trunk, right? Let's see what happens when we do that. Boom. It says right here, command rejected. Why? Because it's sought to auto negotiate. First, we have to. That's something. Another thing that's a little deeper than this, right? We have to set the encapsulation, right? There's two types of encapsulation for trunking. One is considered the Cisco proprietary one. It's called ISL, interswitch trunk link, or interswitch link. That's basically for Cisco switches. Yes, I do have Cisco switches here, but back in the day, that was the ones that they used for trunking. Well, nowadays, most switches use .1Q. I'm just going to put a dot. I'm not going to spell the word dot, but .1Q. That is called the open standard. So you can. This allows us to hook up a Cisco switch to a Juniper switch, right? So we can form a trunk with those two. This is the open standard. So don't worry about ISL, right? We're going to set it up to be a .1Q trunk, right? We're going to set it up to be a .1Q trunk. How do we do that? And then we should not get this command reject command, right? So we got to go to global config mode, which we are, and we say switch port encapsulation. My bad. Switch port trunk, and then encapsulation. What are the two types? You remember? .1Q and ISL, which is what I just said, right? So we're going to set it up to be .1Q. Yes, I know I do have two Cisco switches, and we could do ISL, but we're going to do .1Q for now, since that is the open standard, and that's what most people are using nowadays, right? Most organizations, at least. ISL's kind of gone by the wayside. Right? So now let's go ahead and set it up to be a trunk port, hard-coded as a trunk, with switch port mode trunk, and now we didn't get that rejected command that we saw right here, right? So now he's set up to be a trunk port. Anybody had a question so far? Am I losing you? I don't care. There's like, just ask away, right? So we did that, right? Let's verify our work again, right? With another show command, same show command actually. Show interface FAST 1/0/1. Add the switch port keyword at the end, and we'll see now he is statically set as a trunk port, as opposed to last time he was a dynamic auto. So he was dynamic. He was going to dynamically learn to be whether he should be a trunk port or an access port, or whatever, or vice versa, or whatever, right? And the same thing with encapsulation. You can set the type of encapsulation and negotiate that, but obviously we said we're going to do .1Q, right? So let's see, what is the trunking set to be? Trunking is set to be .1Q, which is what we set it to be, right? Operational mode is down, so this port is down right now. Anybody know why? Why is he set to be down? Why is this port down? Pop quiz. I guess that'll be pop quiz for today. Why is that port down? He should have been up, right? By default, aren't the interfaces up? Let's see. Show interface status. I think I probably would have gave it away with this. I shouldn't have done this. But anyways, whatever. There goes the one where my daughter tried to plug up, right? Let's bring that bad boy up. I'm going to let y'all look at this and figure out why that port is still down. So that's where my daughter tried to plug up. Task 3 was to verify our commands configuration with the appropriate show commands. And then after that, we wrap it up. That was pretty much easy, man. That was an easy lab. That was easy, lab. So I'm gonna let y'all figure out why this interface is still down. While that happens, let's go ahead and bring this switch up. I mean that interface up. So FA05, 105, right? Global config mode interface FAST 1/05. We said to bring up an or disable port, we actually got to shut it down and then do a no shut. And then we should theoretically get a syslog message, let us know that comes up. But I already unplugged it, and that's the reason why we're not going to get a syslog message. However, we can see, remember what it looked like before? We said that port was or disabled. Now, if we do a show interface status, we'll see, boom, it says not connect because I unplugged it anyway. So, anybody know why? Why is that interface still down? If anybody gonna answer, nobody will answer. The reason why is because it is, right? So 102 was connected. That was from earlier, right? That was the router from the last lab, right? 101, there's no cable connected to it. Bloop, bloop. We don't have a cable connected to that. So let's go ahead and plug up. Hopefully a spanning tree does not occur. A switch to a switch. Dave W said because it was disabled when you plugged your daughter's laptop in, we need re-enable the port manually. Dave W, good guess, but that was a really good guess. I like that guess. But 105 was the one that I plugged up my daughter's laptop to. 101 was the one we wanted to plug up to 101 over here. So the reason why is because I don't have a cable. So, but good guess. That would have been a good one too, though. That would have been a good one. I should have done that. But I'm going to plug up FA101 to FA101 on the other switch. And let's see what happens. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's take a look at the settings. The default settings, right? Hopefully I wiped it clean and there's no interface, no configurations on that port, right? So let's go to switch 2. We haven't even molested that switch yet. Wrong choice of words in the Me Too movement, Me Too era rather. Let's actually configure switch 2. Show interface FA. Oh, actually, let's do a show run real quick. Show, yeah, let's do that. Show FAST 101, right? Switch port. Let's see what he's set to. By default, dynamically auto, he is down, right? Just like what we saw on the other switch. He will negotiate the type of trunk, whether it be either .1Q or ISL, and the negotiation of trunking is also on. So whether the trunk or not, which is what we're going to disable, what type of encapsulation is set to negotiate, and it is down right now, right? And then the default VLAN 1, right? Remember, when we take something out the box, a switch out the box is set to VLAN 1. Anybody questions so far, or anybody out there, anything else that y'all want me to point out? Y'all want me that like button if y'all like what y'all see, man. But let's go ahead and I think we see the default interfaces. What else can we do? One more show command. Let's do what y'all. I know I always preach. Try to do 2 show commands, at least 2 show commands. We did switch port. Let's leave out the switch port command and see what it do. No, that's not going to give it default settings. That's just going to give you statistics, right? How about port security? Let's look at the port security on that. Or show. Let's do a trunk. Let's do that. Show interface trunk. Who's trunking? Nobody's trunking on this switch. Nobody's trunking here. What else can we do? We could do a show. Let's do port security. Port security. Interface. FA101. There we go. That's a good thing to do, right? We got all this information on port security, but guess what? You can't set up port security on the trunk port. I don't think so. Unless anybody want to correct me on that or debate. Remember, when we debate, we just kind of like debate. Maybe I'm right, you're wrong, or you heard from somebody else, or, you know, the NetworkBruh is steering, you know, 10 to 15 people wrong or whatever. But I don't think you can set up, let's go, one of y'all can Google it if you want to, but you can't set up port security on the trunk port. I'll do it before y'all. Port security on trunk port. Let's see. I was going through it. Can you set up port security on trunk? You can configure port security on interfaces that you have configured as layer 2 trunk ports. So you can. However, what are the, let's see, not that. What is the port security? Yeah, I guess that's kind of configuring trunks. That's a 4500 switch, but either way, Let's do trunk real quick. I'm looking at some white papers real quick. And remember, your Googling skills are also important as a network engineer. Believe it or not, it's an underrated skill. I do a hella Googling at work. For trunk ports, switchboard port security, you configure for trunk and private. Let's see. When the mode changes from trunk or access, I think you can do private VLAN trunk. I don't know. We'll experiment that after the stream. Let's do that. We'll experiment with that. But I don't think that. But I think this port security is specifically for access ports. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's plug up switch 2. Oh no! Before we do that, task we were supposed to disable auto negotiation, which we did not do. Configure switch 1 so that auto negotiation of trunking is disabled. And then he says set the port to manually trunk. So we did that, right? So we did set it to manually trunk. But we want it to not negotiate. Did I save it? Damn it. I do have it over here though. So I'm glad I caught myself before I did that. Boom. Let's do this. Control N, right? New. No. Paste. This is what we needed. So we did set escape. Paint. Here. Green. We did set this right here to be to manually set. We set it up as manually to set up to be as a trunk, right? But we wanted to do was disable auto negotiation, so that way when he plugs up to this guy is not going to be a trunk port. He's not going to form a trunk automatically with this guy over here, right? So we want to disable that feature. Now that I need to try to remember, and this is why I love going over the fundamentals with y'all, right? So we go to global config mode, go back to that interface, which is FAST101 on my case, right? And we're going to say switch port trunk, and I think it's non-negotiate. No. Allow, nope. Pruning, nope. I think we got to do switch port non-negotiate. I think that's what it is right there, right? I think that's what you got to do. Because if we do that, and we say, and we question mark, right, we'll see. We'll get a definition of what non-negotiate is. Device will not engage in negotiation of protocol on this interface. That sounds like what we wanted to do here, right? Another thing I like this book, or another reason why I like about this book is, in case you're following along, 101 Labs Cisco CCNA version 4. You can get a copy of this from 101labs.net, or there's a link in the description box below. If you don't know the command, or if there's a solution, or if you're stuck or whatever, you can go to the solution guide and see how Paul Browning did it, right? This command I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that's what you do, how you do it. Switch port non-negotiate. And task number 2 is, that's correct, switch port non-negotiate. And that's how you do it. So I was right. And in task 3, he says, as you can see above, the interface cannot be left to dynamically become a trunk or an access port if you want to disable auto negotiation of trunking. So I was correct. I just didn't want to be like, yes, that's it. But I wasn't 100% sure. I guess I was 95% sure. So non-negotiate. Now, but he got a command rejected on here. I wanted to show y'all what happens if y'all try to do that. Probably because he had it plugged up already. That's what happened. He had it plugged up. So we're going to see what happens when he tries to perform a trunk. He is non-negotiating. So we'll see. We're going to watch what happens to switch 2. We'll go to switch 2. We're going to go on this side right here and see what happens when I plug up this guy to that guy. Right? Go to FA101 on the other port. Pray to the network gods. And take a look at what happens on switch 2. The port came up. So this guy came up. Bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Right? But what happens on switch 1? Let's see. Go to switch 1. He came up as well. Right? But what is he? Is he getting an access port or is he a trunk port? Anybody want to take a guess? Because I don't know what the hell. I'm assuming he stayed as an as a trunk port. But this one was set to dynamically be dynamic auto, right? So let's see what's gonna happen to what's gonna be the what's gonna happen to these interfaces here. Aaron Lewis got it correct. Switch port non-negotiate. So yes, that's exactly what I did. Sorry for making. He said page 7. Never heard of port security on a trunk. Okay, I'm glad Mario was with me on that one. And Pete, thank you for that document. I'm gonna look over that one as well. So yeah, if y'all want to debate that, or at least come to an agreement, can you set up port security on a trunk? And I don't think you can. So let's take a look at what the operational modes are for switch 1, right? So Pete said, making us learn every day. Hey man, we're all learning, right? Because today I learned about the switch port, how to look up all those MAC addresses on one interface, right? So I learned that right there. What else I wanted to do here? I learned a couple things while I was teaching you guys. So that's why I love doing this, man. Show interface FA. Let's see, is he a trunk port or is he an access port? We know we hard-coded as a trunk, so we know this guy should already be a trunk, right? This guy right here, we already know he's a trunk, but we set him to disable auto negotiation. We want to know what he is. We want to know what he is, right over there. Show interface FA ST 101 switch port. Let's take a look at what he's got here. So we know we hard-coded as a trunk, right? With switch port mode trunk, right? We know we said we want you to be a .1Q trunk. So all these 4 right here, we know that. This is what we turned off, what we came for, right? Lab 102, page 441, in case you're just following along, right? We set it to non-negotiate, which is what Aaron Lewis said. Switch port non-negotiation. That's how we verify it right there. Now let's go to switch 2 and take a look at the operational modes for that interface. We did have some interface VLAN come up. We saw the interface come up, right here. Right? We did all of that. But what is he operating in, right? This is what it looked like before. He might be the same. We'll see. This is what it looked like before. Set to dynamic auto. We didn't do any configuration on here. Let's see. He said to configure switch 1 to auto negotiation. Yeah, that's what we did. So he didn't have us do anything on switch 2. He said to leave this guy by default. Don't touch this guy. But by default, it was that set to dynamic auto. It was set down because we didn't plug it up yet. Negotiate. So it'll negotiate on whether to become a trunk or not. And no, this is the encapsulation of whether to negotiate or not. This is whether to trunk or not. So it'll negotiate whether to be a trunk or not. And does anybody want to guess? So what it is? He said dynamic auto becomes a trunk if the other link is a trunk. So it's dynamic auto. So most likely he is now a trunk. I think you're correct. I think you're right, Pete. Let's see. Show interface trunk. No, not trunk. We can do that. We can verify with that as well. Switch port. Pray to the network gods and see what happened. Well, ain't nothing really to pray about, but he's set to static access. Interesting, right? Interesting. So he's not a trunk port. He is an access port, right? I learned something new. Well, I ain't really learned something new, but I thought he was going to be a trunk port. I ain't gonna front. I thought he was going to be a trunk. We set him to not negotiate, but he was set to negotiate. I think that's what we need to remember, because remember, when there was one is negotiating and one is not negotiating, they stay still. So, and if we do show interface trunk, well, let's finish with the switch port command, right? So, static access, he's still an access port. This guy right here is still an access port. The encapsulation, there's no such thing as encapsulation for a trunk because it's an access port, so we ain't worried about that. And the encapsulation is native. So, and the negotiation of trunking is on. So he's set to on, and he is set to statically trunk. No, he is non-negotiating. So that's what we remember. I'm going to bring up a chart on what he said, isn't that because you set switch 1 to non-negotiation? Non-negotiate. Yes, that's the reason why. So we did not want him to be a trunk, which is exactly what he designed it to do. So what am I thinking? Yes, thank you for pointing that out, Pete. What we wanted to see is, oh yeah, so it's not going to be a trunk. So show interface is trunk, and this should also be blank. Yep, because he's not negotiating, right? So we did not set up as a trunk. Now, if we hard-coded this as a trunk and hard-coded that as a trunk, then obviously a trunk would be formed. But this said, no, don't become a trunk. And this one said, well, I'll take a guess on what you want. So he said no, and he just went with it and stayed as an access port. So there is a chart to kind of remember all of these. What happens if this one is set to negotiate and this one is set to automatically set as a trunk, right? Let's pull up that chart. I think it's probably in that white paper that Pete put in the, no, that's port security. Let's see. Non-negotiate. Non-negotiate. Cisco. Cisco versus trunk, right? And there should be a chart. Images. I'll show y'all what we need to memorize. This right here, I know it looks a little big, a little intimidating, but don't be intimidated. Just once you start doing it very often, you'll remember them. Network Jiu-Jitsu, shout out to them. But this is what we was trying to see. When one side is set to be a trunk or not, right? So let's say if you want to read this chart right here, I'll leave a link in the description below though. Like let's say we set one side to be non-negotiate, right? Which was this right here. Non-negotiate. The other side was a trunk. It says unexpected results, but we obviously got a static port. It was set to add static access. So access was off, non-negotiation trunk. So one side was non-negotiate, the other side was trunk on. So it said unexpected results, but we actually got static access port, right? That's what happened to switch 2. He became static access. So if you want to see that chart right there, I'll put it in the link below. But that's something you want to take a look at. Courtesy of Network Jiu-Jitsu. Not sure what that's about. Take a look at this guy, Andrew Roderos. Good to know. But dynamic trunking port, I think that's what I was looking at. That's what I meant to see. If one side is set to access, no, one side was set to, no, it was not DTP. Not DTP. It was definitely the non-negotiate. I guess that is the DTP. Yeah, dynamic trunking protocol. So, anyway, but just like what he said, dynamic auto becomes a trunk if the other link is a trunk. But we set one side to be non-negotiate, and the other side we left it as is, which was dynamic. So it did not become a trunk, which again is like a way of securing your ports. Y'all want to do one more lab? What's the next lab? Next lab is 802.1x security, lab 103. I guess we could do that. However, I don't think I can do hardware on this because I don't have a radius server. So I'm going to need either packet tracer or GNS3, and I don't have a radius server installed in GNS3, so I would be resorting to packet tracer on this. Nah, maybe I'll save it tomorrow. Y'all let me know. If you do show IP interface brief, is it up, down at the moment? Good question. Let's see. I think it'll be up. I think it'll be up because, let's see. I'll check both sides though. Show IP interface brief, right? Interface brief. And 101 is set to up. So good question. We'll check the other side too though. It'll most likely be up as well. Show IP interface brief. 101 should be also up. Yes, that's correct. No, my bad. This guy, he's up. Right? Also indicated by these two arrows, right? Y'all let me know if y'all want to do next lab. Configuring 802.1x, which is another form of port security. However, it is a standard, and you could set up a third-party device, which in this case, a radius server, to do the authentication. So we can keep our users and usernames and passwords and stuff like that on this third-party device, and then whenever somebody plugs up to the port, right, the switch will check, hey, is this person allowed? The switch will let him know, hey, yes, you can. Then he's going to allow that person to plug up to the port, which is what 802.1x is. I think that's pretty much it, man. But that one Yeah, I definitely can't do that with hardware because I don't have a radius server. I would definitely need to use like Packet Tracer or something. And I don't remember configuring authentication and stuff like that. So I need to kind of like remember using 1812 and 1813. Use CCNA as the key. Yeah, so they gotta have like a username and password and stuff. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, man. We'll do that tomorrow. And not because I don't have a radius server, stuff like that. We can knock that out. We're using Packet Tracer and stuff like that. I just like to try to keep these streams a little short, a little kind of like meat chunks and stuff like that. So, power those guys down. Make it a little quieter in here, right? Next time y'all want to follow along, get you a copy of that book, man. 101 Labs, Cisco CCNA version 4. Again, we're almost done with this book. We only got like 20 labs left. Then we're going to move on to the CCNP topics. Much more difficult. I'm also going to add another book to it. Either maybe like that CCNP manual that they have, lab manual. We'll cover some of those labs. I want to try to get a promotional copy from Boston NetSim. We'll get some CCNP labs from that as well. We'll do that together if they allow us to do it. I've seen some people do Boston NetSim. Yeah, Network Chuck done Boston NetSim, and but it was a promotional copy that he got, so he was able to do the lab. But we'll do it together too. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. If y'all like what y'all see, y'all want me that like button. Leave a comment down below. Or if there's any other topics you want to see, join that Discord server and hit me up. Here is the, he said, is the CCNP book up to date? Yes, the CCNP book came out, let's see, Amazon.com. It is up to date though. They came out with the book. Did they come out with it? Yes, they came out with it after. Yes, because I remember waiting on it. They came out with the book after Cisco changed the exam guidelines. Yes, in February 2020 when they had that apocalypse. Remember all of that? So Cisco, CCNP 101 Labs, right? We'll do that, and then it is right there. Yep, it came out July 22nd of last year. So February 22nd of last year is when they is that the keyword? No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted the actual damn book. So, yeah, so February of last year is when they changed it, and then they published this book July 22nd of 2020. So, boom, boom, and then I think that's a search. Who knows? But either way, this is a copy of the book. I know you can easily Google it, but sometimes I like spoon feed some of y'all. Yes, there is one up to date. That's the up to date one, and then the Discord server. In case you guys want to hit me up, or if you have any other topics, or if you have any questions, there's a lot of smart people that be popping up in my chat room and stuff like that. Or if I have to cancel a stream for some reason, I will let you guys know on the Discord server. This is the link to the Discord server. But anyways, for now, comment, like, subscribe to the network. Bruh.